Hey, YouTube family. How you doing? This is Rhonda with Rhonda Loves Life. Thanks for joining me. All right, guys. I was not going to sign on tonight, but it was because I had two meetings that were successful, thank God. So it's over. My brain hurts, but I feel better now that it's all over. Now, have you guys been hearing the news? Cassie has taken the stand. She's spoken. That's right. Cassie Ventura, Puff Daddy's one of his many victims. Okay, one of his many victims. She took the stand today, and let's just say it was shocking. It was really shocking. Some of the stuff that they talked about. It was terrible. I told you that guy is a whole apex predator. He really is. And I was watching another content creator today, their take on it, because they were in the courtroom and they said that Cassie is broken. They said Puff Daddy just basically destroyed her. But I say as long as she's breathing and she's got what? She's pregnant. She's got what? Two kids already. She's married. God can restore her back to health. Trust me. But Puff Daddy, he's not getting off this. It's just, what amazes me, that in this day and age, people still put up with that kind of abuse, women. So it goes to show you that, we all have our weak points. And poor Cassie, she was 19 when she met him. He's 17 years older than her. The power dynamics were off. I mean, it was that poor girl. And so we're going to get into the transcripts of that case. And when I heard about it, I read and watched some of the news spots on it. I don't see how Puff Daddy is going to get out of this. And I don't see how his defense can say that this is just a volatile relationship. They both were very jealous. No. I mean, they're doing their job, y'all. They got to spin it. They got to spin it in the way that they can, But we've got our own eyes, our own ears, and many of us are blessed with common sense. And we could tell that young lady was being abused. And when she sat on that stand and explained what happened to her, it is shocking. And I find it even more disturbing that no one in the Hollywood space spoke up and said nothing. Haven't you noticed nobody spoke out and said, poor Cassie, that poor girl? Nobody. You know why? Because it's happening a lot, the exploiting of others for their own benefit. It's really sad. We're going to get into Princess Kate. She threw brutal shade at Meghan Markle, honey. We're going to talk about that. But she did it in the most classiest fashion. But Meghan Markle, she read it. She got message of that shade. Yes, she did. And then Princess Kate has a spring video I want to share. She shared it, but I just want to share a little bit of it because I love how, this whole it's Mental Health Month. It is, you shine a light on it, but then you also, it just reminds you to, it's spring is coming, and just recognize that, And then Scott Galloway, he is my favorite. He's like a super rich guy, which is okay, good for him. But he's also I think he's a professor at, I want to say Georgetown or somewhere like that. He's a professor. And I like, he speaks a lot. He's got Professor G channel. And then he's with Kara Swisher on their channel, on YouTube channel. So he rejected Gayle King in a major epic way. And we got to get into that. We got to talk about that, okay? So we got to get into that. So first, let's do this. Why don't we first let's talk about Scott Galloway. Now I'm going to pull him up right quick just so you guys can see what this man is all about. And I want to pull up his books and stuff because he's speaking a lot. He's been on The View. He's been on CNN. He's been on MSNBC. He's been on, he's all over YouTube. But here, this is Scott Galloway right here. Let's pull up Scott Galloway and his background right quick. And then we'll look at his books and we'll talk about what he did with Gayle King, honey. He turned her down. So Scott Galloway, he's an American public speaker, academic, author, podcast, and entrepreneur. So let's see. He's a professor, I know. He also wrote books. Let us look in here. Okay, so let's take a look at some of his books. But he is a wealthy man, too. He talks about the wealthy paying their fair share. I mean, but he's not a socialist in any capacity either. I like he's got a balanced view on things, and I kind of respect him for that. And it touches, I kind of connect to it. So he talks also about men in this country, young men, and how lost they are, many of them are, and how the Democratic Party really just forgot about. They ended identity politics. Like I told you guys, they choose identity politics because they want to trick us from looking at the fact that they were the ones that, with that NAFTA agreement with Clinton, were the ones that shipped all them jobs overseas. So they want us to look at identity politics to distract us. But anyways, in my opinion. But Scott Galloway, he actually shined a light on the plight of young men in this country. And he's got a book, Notes on Being a Man by Scott Galloway, The Algebra of Wealth, The Hidden DNA of Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. Here's one, The Algebra of Wealth, A Simple Formula for Success. I mean, he's been around a while. Like I said, he's a professor, and he's also a very wealthy man. So he's always talks about that he does not mind paying his own way. Being wealthy, he want to pay his fair share. And that makes sense to me, right? So he's been he's been out there showing his faces. I think he's got a new book coming out, and he's been speaking out against a lot of things. He's got views. You cannot lump him as, I think he is more of a Democrat, but he's the first to criticize the Democratic Party. And I like what he talks about when he talks about legacy media. And he talks about, and this is what we're going to kind of highlight tonight. What I wanted to highlight is that when I say legacy media, like CBS, ABC, NBC, then you got CNN and Fox and MSNBC, and all of these people are in the bed because a lot of them are owned by, like what ABC is owned by Disney, CBS is owned by Paramount, who owns NBC. So basically, all of these legacy channels, they are owned by these big groups that have an interest in really kind of controlling everything we think and how we feel. And they intertwine that with politics. So our politicians they give certain politicians an advantage on their platform. It's all a racket. And what Scott Galloway pointed out today when he was on his podcast with it's Kara Swisher. Kara Swisher is her name, and I can't think of the name of the podcast, but you can look it up. Today, he talked about what happened with him and Big O's wife, Gayle. And he pointed out now, he says that he does not dislike Gayle, in which I don't think Scott, I don't see him disliking not Gayle and them. But, here's his biography. He's a professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business. Okay. All right. And he's worth millions. He's got a lot of money. So anyways, let's get back on target. Sorry, guys. So Oprah Winfrey, Big O, her wife Gayle. Now, Scott Galloway, he was invited to appear on Gayle King's CBS show, right? So they were like, well, you want to come on our show, blah, blah, blah. And can our producers call you? And Scott's like, okay, all right. So he said he was on the phone for 45 minutes with Gayle's producers. So they were asking him all of these questions, tons of questions, right? And 45 minutes worth. And he said that he asked the producer, he said, so how long is my segment on Gayle King? And you know what the producer said? I think that, what did they say? 4 minutes or something. It was like just a couple of minutes. He was like, what? I'm doing all this 45 minutes to sit with Gayle King for a couple of minutes, just 1 or 2 minutes, or even 4 minutes. He was like, that's bad for my brand. And he said, what is all of this for? He's like, no, you know what he did? He turned it down. He said, no, I will not appear on the Gayle King show. He said he's sick of this whole, they don't realize, like, why would you have Scott Galloway on hold with your producer 45 minutes and only give him a handful of minutes, a segment on your show? Why would Gayle King think that she would be the top? Where are they doing that at? So he had pointed out, and check it out on it's on YouTube. I can't think of and next time I'm going to write it down. I need to come a little bit more prepared this. Next time I will write it down. But he made an excellent point. And the point is that the real action is happening out here in this YouTube streets, the podcast, on, Twitter. I mean, the thing is that people are not relying on CBS. Like he said, it's like, okay, 800,000 75-year-olds are watching CBS, and with Gayle King, because who else is watching Gayle King? So, Scott ran the numbers. Were like, how do I benefit from being on that show just for 3 or 4 minutes? So that time could have been used for something else. Gayle King. So he told her no, and he said that the producers were shocked. They were surprised that he turned Gayle King down. Yeah, because they're all in this, I told you, in this little system. And Gayle King, just a couple of weeks ago, she's chastising us because we did not recognize her as an astronaut, and we didn't praise them because they went up in a little tube up into the sky and down a whole 11 minutes. And then we're not impressed because many of us are burdened with our own lives. And we really don't give a shit about what some old ass wealthy women are doing. Because you crawl into a tube and go up in the sky and come down. We don't give a shit. We don't. But in their mind, and this is the same station, CBS Studios, owned by Paramount, the head of Paramount and his wife. And Harry and Meeghan, when Harry and Meeghan was working on their wedding anniversary a couple of years back, they were hanging with these two. And they were also hanging with them at the Beyonce concert, way up there in the nosebleed seats. So we know what, they're trying to push Harry and Meeghan, which Harry and Meeghan don't even realize that legacy media, all that shit, it's YouTube. It is really where it's at. So Scott pointed that out. And I have to agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. And I love when he talks, I love it. When he speaks, because I connect, he makes sense to me. He makes common sense. And on balance, he's kind of a emotionally intelligent man, so it appears. So, I connect to that. I just do. And I think he's got a lot to say. And I like the fact that he's bringing up the issues that young men in this country are having. I really do. And he tells the truth about these politicians, no matter what side of the aisle, because he said the Democratic Party need to come out and start getting wild and just saying, hey, and I'm being smart about it. Like, they act like the Democratic Party, when Schumer came out and said that he sent Congress a strongly worded letter. What was some fiasco that they did? I think it was that immigration case when they shipped that young man to that El Salvador prison, Gulag. And then Schumer said, well, we wrote a strongly worded letter to Congress. And it's like, are you kidding me? Really? You know you're dealing with Trump and his crew, where you have to, they are going to run it and run it the way they want it. And if you don't like it, you're going to have to push back. And if you got an alternative view, say it. Say it. So anyways, Scott believes like I do, or I believe like Scott does, that the Democratic Party is lost and they got some work to do. And it's, it's not too late, but there's a lot of good things about this country, but there are some things that are going on that you just can't ignore. And Gayle King and Gayle King, Big O, Paramount, this Walt Disney, like ABC and all of those people are not watching it anymore. Just the older folks, old people, they're watching it. Everybody else they're finding their news from other alternative sources, and that they should. You can't trust them because you don't know if what's her name? Drew Barrymore had Meghan Markle on her show. But isn't Drew Barrymore, is she represented by Ari Emanuel? Let me put that in there. I'm curious. Is she? Because you can't trust it because you know that they're all in bed together. Does Ari Emanuel represent Drew Barrymore? I'm curious. I am curious. Oh, Drew Barrymore is represented by Brian Lord and Brian Whitesell, who work. Oh, they're at William Morris and then Creative CAA. Okay. So, Ari Emanuel, head of new $20 billion UFC. Oh, he's behind that, huh? Oh, that was in 2023. Wait a minute. Who is Ariel Emanuel, head of new? Wait a minute. They said no, but it looks like they are connected. Ari Emanuel, head new $20 billion UFC and WWE juggernaut. Okay, so Endeavor stock tanked 11% after announcing it is quiet WWE. So WWE is now on Netflix. I never got into that, but I hear it's very popular. But let me get back to... Oh, Ari Emanuel worked at Endeavor for nearly 3 decades. He was the co-founder. Okay. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me share this with you instead. Okay. So you can see, because I wanted to show you how there's no mistake that these celebrities end up appearing on these legacy TV stations and shows. And I saw that Drew Barrymore, that she let Meghan Markle on her show. And the reason why she did is because Ari Emanuel is tied to it. And it shows here that Ari Emanuel, it says here on Observer, this article was written in 2023. And it says that Emanuel has worked at Endeavor for nearly 3 decades. In 1995, he co-founded Endeavor Agency, the talent agency that represented Adam Sandler, Mark Wahlberg, and Lisa Kudrow in his early years. Prior to founding Endeavor, he worked at other talent agencies, including CAA, Intertalent, and International Creative Management, which fired him when the company learned of Emanuel's plan to form a rival agency. Okay, in 2001, Patrick Whitesell, CE's talent head, joined Endeavor and expanded its roster to include Drew Barrymore, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Jennifer Aniston. Okay, so it looks like in 2000, Emanuel spearheaded the agency's merger with 100 Lil William Morris agency. Okay, so yeah, they are all in bed together pretty much. But my point is, anyways, is back to what I was saying with what Scott Galloway was talking about with Gayle King, and how Gayle, I mean, what did she think? She made him sit with the producers for 45 minutes for what? Just so he can sit with her for 2 or 3 minutes on a segment. I mean, Scott Galloway was like, I have better, listen, he's like, my brand, I can't even do it. He's like, no, I can't do it. And it's like, that man deserves, he's got a lot to say, but Gayle King, she's part of the establishment. Let me show you what she's doing. First, she's jumping in tubes to promote Blue Horizon, which is a Jeff Bezos project. And now look at Big O's wife is onto now. Hold on, let me show you. And Scott Galloway posted this on his X account. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. This is crazy. It's gonna blow your mind. Hold on 1 second. So Scott says virtual reality is a prophylactic, ensuring you will never conceive a child, as no one will want to get near you. In this case, ensuring nothing gets done, as colleagues won't want to work with you. So look what this was done. When was this? Oh, this was in 2021. So Gayle King and Mark Zuckerberg conducted their first ever virtual reality interview in Facebook's New Horizon Workrooms, a virtual app that allows coworkers to interact in virtual offices. And look at Gayle King. Let's take a look at this.
Mark, I'm in.
All right, welcome.
Oh my God, you've got freckles on your nose.
I have freckles in real life too, so I'm trying to do the best with my avatar.
Do you like my glasses? I like it in here.
Your avatar looks great.
This is my first virtual reality interview. How about you?
Mine too. My first virtual reality interview too.
Mark, I'm in.
All right, welcome.
Oh my God, you've got freckles on.
So it looked like Gayle King, because this is older. This was in 2021. So it looks to me like Gayle King is promoting all these rich people. She's part of that whole, I told you, it's like a cabal and all of them are together. And she's promoting that crap. I mean, who the hell want to be behind in a virtual room? No, I want to get out. I want to touch people. Not literally, but you know what I mean? I want to fellowship with real people. I don't want to be locked up in a room with no virtual reality, gear on. It's not real. I mean, it's just disturbing, but I'm not surprised. Gayle King is at, so Scott Galloway has been speaking out, and hopefully people will listen. I'm sure they will. He's been on quite a few. He was on The View, and The View actually let him sit down and speak for a good 20 minutes. I'm not saying much, but The View, I have my issues with The View, so I was surprised they let him on. Then he was on CNN. He was on MSNBC. I don't know if he's ever, has Scott Galloway ever been on Fox? Let's see. I'm curious about that. I am curious. Has Scott Galloway ever been on Fox News? Oh, yes. Scott Galloway, according to 92nd Street, has been on Fox News. Yeah, Raging Moderates. Yes, that's the show. Okay, I see. Yeah, that's the name of the podcast, Raging Moderates. So it looks like, yes, he has. Scott Galloway, according to 92nd Street Y, has been on Fox News. Specifically, he was a guest on The Five with Jessica Tarlov. He also appeared on the podcast Raging Moderates, which is co-hosted by Tarlov. Okay, good for him. Good. He's making his way around. Let me just say I like what he said about young men. I love what he said. He talks about toxic masculinity. And he also talks about, let me just use his own words here. And this is, okay, here we go. And this is actually Fox News. But when it comes to him, let's see what they say, because I did see him on The View. So let's see if they have liberal Arthur tells The View there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Let's also celebrate. Okay, he does say there is toxic masculinity. Yes, he does. Okay, let's also celebrate our young men and recognize that being risk aggressive, being a provider, being strong, wanting to be fit such that you can protect and provide. Those are wonderful things, Scott Galloway says. I like how he speaks, and I totally agree. I totally agree with him. So I don't know why they label it as liberal. Well, I don't understand that. But I mean, it's Fox News, so I mean, it's bent towards a particular segment of the population. Okay, so I want to just highlight what he said. He points out that that the show Adolescence, that series that was on Netflix. He said it was so disturbing to him. And then he pointed out that how men are far more likely than women to commit the S word, face addictions, and be incarcerated. He argued that young men need a positive view of masculinity to guide their lives. I totally agree with that. That makes total sense to me. And he says, for young men, I like the idea of restoring an aspirational vision of masculinity that can serve as a code. And I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning into your femininity or your masculinity if it feels natural. The author began before listing the 3 pillars he believes are essential to healthy masculinity. He said every man should be a provider, be a pursuer in romantic relationships, and be a protector. I agree with that. Totally. Totally. He brought up stats showing that 51% of young men have never asked a woman out in person, despite the majority of women wanting men to be the initiators in relationships. He also said men have failed to protect women in society. From an early age, we have to teach our boys that the transition to manhood means your default operating system is protection. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I like that. He added that this also means standing up for the demonized in society, citing the transgender community as an example. There is nothing wrong with masculinity. It is a wonderful guidepost. Lean in. We just need to redefine what it means to be a man, he urged men. You add surplus value. You create more tax revenue than you absorb. You protect people. You witness their lives. You register more complaints than you actually complain. And if you leave this earth having given more than you've taken, then you leave this world as a man. That is what it means to be a man. I love that. I mean, I just love how he communicates. I love his message, y'all. I really do. I love Scott Galloway's message because he's right on it to me as far as I'm concerned. He really is. He's spot on. But he's not going to play around with Gayle King and that crap they're trying to do. And you got that video of Gayle King trying to keep people in virtual realities and stuff and away from each other. We need to be trying to get closer to each other, not farther away from each other. I mean, how are you gonna? I mean, that's scary because I'm in my 50s. So Scott Galloway's in my age group. Okay, he's in my age group. So what does that mean for younger generations? Don't promote this virtual reality crap if it's going to keep us from, because that's what he said in the X post. So if young men and women are in their virtual rooms away from each other, how are they ever going to meet and connect and date and have fall in love, get married or whatever, have children? When are they going to do any of that? Never. And it leads to isolation and loneliness too. How do you make friends? Life is better when you have friends, people. And I'm not talking about hundreds of friends. It's not the number, it's the quality of friendship. So I like Scott Galloway. Good job, Scott. But Gayle, good call. Cancel that because Gayle ain't about shit. Nothing. She's not about anything. No, she's not. Sorry. All right. So let's get into Kate. Princess Catherine, she threw major shade at Meghan Markle, y'all. Yes, she did. She threw major shade, and we're going to look right at it. Okay. She has, let me pull it up right quick. Let me pull it up. And I just love this. I like her. So it looks like Princess Catherine, she was at an event. And look, she wore a beautiful outfit. And we're going to, let me share this screen with you. See that? And let's look at it. Let me read it to you because I think this is major shade to Meghan Markle and the fact that she is embracing Victoria Beckham. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Hold on one second. We're going to look at this. The Princess of Wales wearing Victoria Beckham, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you wear a trouser suit. Immaculate style and grace as always. So let's look at Miss Kate. Let's take a look at Princess Catherine. I think she's so adorable.
I'm pleased to announce that this year's winner of the Queen Elizabeth II Award for British Design is Patrick McDowell.
Adorable, right? Let's look at that. Yeah, look at her. She, you know what? Her clothes fit her. Her clothes fit. Now let's pull up Meghan Markle in her trousers. In her trousers, because I don't think I don't think, you know what it is, I think with Meeghan, I don't think she doesn't have the money. Her clothes are not tailored to fit her. That's what I'm thinking. Oh Lordy. Let's see, let me share this. I don't think that her clothes fit her. Like, she doesn't have a tailor. So look at this outfit and look at the pants, you know. I don't think she has a tailor that can. It's hard because Catherine's clothes, I mean, that's a nice outfit. Jesus. That's really pretty. Catherine, she's just very classy. She knows the clothes that look right on her. And I think, and this is a Victoria Beckham outfit, by the way. I meant to point that out. This is Victoria Beckham. So let's watch her go in again, because that's a nice suit. Oh, God, if I had money like that, I'd dress like that too. But you can't pay for a tailor. Wow.
I'm pleased to announce that this year's winner of the Queen Elizabeth II Award for British Design is Patrick McDowell.
Wow, that is a nice outfit. That is a really nice outfit she got on. Let me see. Let me go back this way. Look at that. That is a nice outfit. That fits her perfectly. Look at that. But it's tailored to her. It's tailored to her. Meghan Markle don't have that, not so much. And then Catherine pointed out, I do like, she did a video because it's Mental Health Month. And she did a video on mental health. And I'm gonna pull that one up too. And so perfect for the times that we're in, right? I always talk about mental health because, it's important to me. I realize I do value the importance of taking care of your mental health, staying on top of it. So let's take a look at Princess Kate video, okay?
Over the past year, nature has been my sanctuary. The natural world's capacity to inspire us, to nurture us, and help us heal and grow is boundless, and has been understood for generations. It is through nature that we can fully understand the true interconnectedness of all things, the importance of balance, and the importance of renewal and resilience. Connecting to nature helps us to experience a deeper sense of ourselves, the world around us, and each other. Spring is a season of rebirth, of hope and new beginnings. From the dark days of winter, the outside world quietly awakens with new life, and there comes a sense of optimism, anticipation, and positive, hopeful change. nature revives and renews, so too can we. Let us reconnect to nature and celebrate a new dawn within our hearts. It is often from the smallest of seeds that the greatest change can happen. And in this ever-growing, complex world, we need to hold on to what connects us all. Spring is here, so let's make the most of it together.
Oh, wow. I like that. Oh, and I love the picture of her and William at the end. I really do like that. I like to see them I like to see them as a couple peppered throughout the video. I really do like look at this. That video is you know what? I have, I do my 3-mile walks. I do 2.5 or 3 miles a day, my hikes. And it's that quiet time out in nature where I feel I'm so at peace, guys, let me tell you. And I see what she's connecting to. It's like, get out there in nature, get to moving. Just take a look at the beautiful trees, the beautiful blossoms. It's getting warmer now here in the Midwest. So going out, and I wear my jacket, like a little jacket, because it gets chilly. Now it's so warm, and I'm like, oh my God, I get to take off my jacket. And then another thing I do now is that I have my phone with and I have my earplugs with my playlist. But what I do is I take off my glasses and I make sure I do not put in my earbuds, and I just listen to nature. I do that the first 1.5 miles, and then the other 1.5 miles coming back. That's where I put on the music or podcast or something, or YouTube. I do the background noise. But that first half of my walk, I take my glasses off, and I really have to protect my eyes from UV rays, but because I got macular degeneration in this side, wet macular degeneration, among other things. But anyways, I do take that time, and I'm telling you, it is so relaxing and meditative. So this is nice to see this from Catherine, Princess Catherine, and Prince William. I like the message that they're trying to present to the world, that, kindness and just pausing to be grateful, just to simply be in the moment. And it is Mental Health Month. So we got to keep that in mind. There are a lot of people out there who are really suffering mentally. And, we're all suffering in some capacity throughout our lives. We have suffered, but let's keep those in mind. Even Harry and Meeghan, crazy. But great video. I enjoyed it. So thank you, Catherine. Wonderful. And that outfit, that's a sharp. Now, see, that was tailored to her body. Whereas Meghan Markle with the, let's look at her gear. Let's look at her outfit again. Not so much. I think Meghan Markle, the problem is that she needs a tailor, and that costs money. It costs a lot of money. Maybe she don't want to spend money on it right now. Maybe she just don't want to spend the money right now. Let's see. Let's take a look at it again. Let's take a look at it again, y'all. View this one. Just to look at the difference. Now, these are her trousers, Meghan Markle, and you could tell it's like, oh, I don't understand. And then what is she wearing? I don't know. Who's the designer? Not that it matters, but it says shot Meghan's outfit. Oh, okay. So it's a Ralph Lauren silk linen Greer trousers. M&S pure linen, 45 pounds, phase 8 amber. Okay, so that's the look that she's trying to get. Oh, I didn't notice this. Y'all see that? They got shot me. Who did this? This is Woman in Home. So buy skinny jeans. Hello, palazzo trousers. Meghan Markle nails New York Spring style with her ultra wide leg look. So, okay. So there, okay. I don't get this look, but you know, I don't know. But it don't look as good. It's not tailored to her. That's the problem. It's not tailored to her body. She even got her belt. You see the belt buckle it's on the second ring, but let's look at Catherine's, the same kind. Let's look at Catherine's outfit. Or did I get, what did I do with that? Let me see. Here it is. Let's see. Let's look at Catherine's outfit right quick. Let's take a look at her outfit again. Look at this. That's a nice outfit. That is really nice. Look at that. Now, see, that fits her. That really fits her, but it's tailored. It's tailored to her. Look. Even when she come in, even when she walks, and you see how it's wide there, but it's up here. It's a little closer tailored to her legs. Her jacket, she doesn't have it scrunched up like Meeghan has it all the way up the arm. I know it's different material too, but and let's just walk her. Let's just take a look at her shoe. Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful suit.
I'm pleased to announce that this year's winner of the Queen
Look at that,
Elizabeth
and see, it's
II
loose
Award
in
British
there, but it
Design
fits
is
her.
Patrick McDowell.
It's tight. I mean, it's tailored. So yeah, that's very beautiful. Very beautiful outfit. Very beautiful. So, you know, Meghan Markle needs to get a tailor. Okay, a tailor. Hey, Beverly Hassel, how you doing? Are you always in nature too? I love it. I just love it. I love it. Those moments are so precious. And, you know, especially when you got a busy life, and most of us do, you know, most of us have a busy life. And then I just turn everything off. Like I had two meetings today, and then I didn't think I would be able to come on tonight because I thought it would run over. And then I was like, you know what? I think one was cut short, and then the other one I knew would kind of take long. So I decided, I'm like, you know, later on today, because I actually put in a reminder in YouTube that I was coming on at 9:30. So, and it went well. But my point is that you get so busy in life with stuff, and you do have to carve out that time where you can just really stop and appreciate things. Because, you know, believe it or not, doing these videos and just kind of discussing what goes on in this crazy world, believe it or not, that is therapeutic too. And then just walking in nature. And it's getting warmer out here in the Midwest, so I'm enjoying it a little bit more. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's get into Cassie Takes the Stand. That's our last one tonight. It'll be a short one, but we're going to talk about oh, God, that was terrible, y'all. And I don't like listening to Puff Daddy in this, because those are dark, dark people. When you think about it, we spoke about it yesterday a little bit, how plugging into spirit. Because to me, when I think of God, I think in more of a spirit. It's like a frequency that you plug into. That's kind of how I would describe it. It's like, and you will know that he exists. You know why? Because when things burn down, I can honestly tell you from my own personal experience, when things burnt down, when I thought I lost everything in my life, and I prayed, and it was like plugging in the spirit. It was right there. And as long as every day I maintain that, and how do you maintain plugging in the spirit? What do? I mean, you can do a lot of reading of spiritual books on spirituality. You can read the Bible. Like I got the book of Proverbs, and then I've got the study guide next to it, the Proverbs and the Bible. And I got a study guide that you can go and you can read the verses. And I don't go to church or anything. I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual. And I can honestly tell you, when I plug in the spirit, I feel better. So when I look at Puff Daddy, and when I watch these, when you look at like Harry and Meeghan and how they are just committed to chaos, committed to, and it's like, why would you want to do that? And then you flip it and look at William and Kate, and how they put that beautiful video out where they are reinforcing the idea that this is Mental Health Month, and please, let's focus on what matters. Come on, let's focus on what matters. And they certainly don't have to dim their light because they will be future king and queen. I don't believe in that. Harry and Megan, why do you want to live their life? Create your own. You got all the resources in the world to do it. Create your own life. Trust me. It's sweeter that way because it's yours. Don't covet anybody else's life. So anyways, Puff Daddy, I bring up Harry and Megan because that's a great example, is that they choose in darkness. And when you dwell in that, and then when I was listening to some of the Cassie's testimony, it was absolutely shocking. And we're going to talk about that tonight. He caught that girl when she was 19 years old. 19. Yes, 19 years old. That's him. He did that. And what did he do? He exploited her. And here's some of the shocking testimony will blow your mind. Because we are on YouTube and I do not want to get strikes or anything like that, so I will try to keep it as clean as possible, but I will also put up some of the what you see here. This young girl. Now, I was watching another content creator that was there in the courtroom, and they said, in their belief, they says that this girl, Puff Daddy, basically used this girl like a SEX doll. She was nothing but a hole to him. That was it. She was nothing but a hole. He destroyed that girl. Now, I don't believe you can destroy anybody. Hold on, there's a ring at my door. Hold on 1 second. Okay, no, it's not. There's nobody at the door. I thought my ring camera. Let me just check and make sure nobody's at my door. I should put a camera right out front to make sure nobody's out there in front. Don't ring the bell. Don't nothing. I have a sign on my door. Please, no soliciting. Don't ring the bell. Don't knock on the don't ring the bell. Don't knock on the door. Please don't be weird. That's what I put in a little sign on my door because I don't bother me. So, anyways, this youth content creator was saying that they believe that Cassie is destroyed. They said she was on the stand crying. That girl is about to give birth in the month. I think it's her third child. Her husband and her family was there. But to me, it's like, how on earth, and she was with him for 10 years. He turned that girl out and brutalized her. A whole apex predator. So let's take a look at some of the key moments. Some of the stuff, it was just, you guys get the idea. It's the same stuff. It's like, and this is from the New York Times. She's such a beautiful young lady, but this is her and her husband. Now her husband was he was a personal trainer for Puff Daddy. That's how they met each other. He was a personal trainer. And they got 3 kids. They found love with each other and they are, building a family together. They're married now. So I know that I thought I heard that she still struggles with the addiction because Diddy had her on drugs, So they said she was on the stand for 8 hours. 8 hours, and she's returning tomorrow. Okay, so let's read some of this. You remember this? This is when he attacked her. I'm gonna we'll keep that up, but I'm just gonna kind of go through some of what I've heard. I mean, that's been pointed out in the media is that she said that there would be those freak offs will go on for days, sometimes 4 days. He would keep her drugged up. He liked to put all that baby oil on to keep it so they can glisten or whatever. But I think that baby oil was laced with something else. Obviously, I'm thinking. I don't know for sure, but we'll eventually see. I don't think that came out. I don't think that she said that yet, that it would have released with drugs or something. But he definitely kept her on drugs. And he brutalized that girl. He got her when she was 19 years old. 19. So he's 17 years older than her. And she said that she wasn't sexually experienced, that he came out the gate introducing freak offs, having her, he was arranging to see sex workers, and then she had her do it. The defense want to claim that this is just a consensual relationship, that maybe, they were both jealous or whatever, but he was never faithful to her, and she knew it, that she was faithful. But she did say that they both cheated, but I don't care. You know what? I don't care how jealous you are. I do not care whether you guys were swingers, whatever. You do not have a right to physically assault anyone. This man was a whole animal. Now, this content creator says that he believed that that girl is gone, crushed, that Puff Daddy crushed her, that girl's spirit. And when she was on the stand explaining, I don't believe, as long as there's a higher power, as long as you're breathing, she can rise up out the ashes. It looks like she's doing it. She's actually having the courage to come out and speak out. Because if it wasn't for her, we would not have ever known. I knew Puff Daddy. I can spot a predator. I just got them squinty eyes like that, meaning, because let's just say I had my own trauma not like this though. I won't even own that. But what I am saying is that I've lived long enough to know to identify him. And when you are in the midst, if you are in a room with a whole apex predator, you either allow yourself to be crushed by them, or you get the hell out of the way. And when I sense a predator, I get the hell out of Dodge. These girls get with these wealthy guys, whether it's Shannon Sharp, this football player, Puff Daddy, this, uber super rapper, or who else. I mean, the list goes on and on of women allowing themselves to be brutalized by these men simply because they got money, status, and power. Simply because of that. And then when you do that, you risk the chance of bumping up against a whole dark entity that was their only goal is to destroy you. And that is what Puff Daddy is. Now, they said that he's there reading the Bible every day. Really? You reading the Bible, dude? You can read the Bible from day to dawn. You gotta cash out, baby. You gotta pay. These are consequences. So what? Reading the Bible, what is that supposed to do? Convince us that you are not an apex predator? This is very sad. And I hope, because I did hear that she still struggles with a little addiction. I think I did hear that. She herself said that, but I'm not sure. I'm almost certain I did. But I don't want to say that I'm sure, though. But I think she did say that in one of her interviews. But how do you come out of that trauma? Only by the grace of God. I hope she finds herself some spirituality and pull through this and maybe eventually write a book. She can be and convince other girls, show them what she went through, because getting with these guys, look at Kim Kardashian. You remember how she made her, how she made her fame. Okay. Then she turned around and get with Kanye simply because Kanye is a popular rapper. And then she fucked up and found out because Kanye is a whole crazy ass bipolar, unmedicated bipolar. He refused to take his medication. And now she got 4 kids with him, have to deal with this man for the rest of her life. She don't know if that man will bull them kids and eat them. She don't know. And I bet you she's thinking twice about it now. And I know I read somewhere, this was last year, where Kim Kardashian said that she cried herself at sleep at night. I bet you do. I bet you do. Because you're not going to sleep easy as a mama bear when you got a whole madman as your baby daddy, an ex-husband. And Kanye is, and a side note, how is it that Wendy Williams is locked up, but Kanye West is not? How the hell is that? How is that possible? Just a little side note. How is it that Kanye West is still running around here singing, posting songs or making albums? Releasing songs about, Hitler, and all that stupidity. And that's another one, that dark entity, baby. And you see that in Hollywood. There's a dark force because nobody spoke out to protect Cassie. She was being stomped and abused for a decade. You think Big O and her wife Gayle, or Tyler Perry, or any of those other actors and actresses and those higher ups in Hollywood, nobody said anything to protect that girl or the other victims, the male and female victims? Nobody? Nobody speaking out now saying, poor Cassie. Cassie, you in my prayers, girl. Nobody. And she said that on the stand. She said she had nobody to talk to. When she would try to get away, he would send people after her. He was a whole, he targeted her, and he sought to destroy that girl through and through. I mean, that's just, he's a dark entity. Some call him demons, the devil. That's a dark force. And I would hope that she has some spirituality and say, give it to God, because that is some trauma, honey. I mean, he was blacking her eye and stomping her head and kicking her in the stomach. I mean, in this day and age, that's so hard to believe, but it happens. These girls get with these guys and think, and they like, well, I can put up with anything as long because you get, because she's on the red carpet with him. And why? Because he gives her money and they go on big trips. And this guy is and she said it was her full-time job. She signed a 10 record deal with Puff Daddy's record company. And I think only one album came out, and she said the rest was just freak offs. She said it was almost a full-time job. So she had her job. He saw a lamb, and he saw a little lamb. And you know what? It thrilled him because she was so young in her life experiences. She had very little, so she claimed. But she at 19 years old, I don't know her family of origin. I have no idea. But one thing I do know is this man, I don't see Puff Daddy. I don't see him getting out of this one. Sorry, P-Diddy. I mean, to me, I can't get it. Look at this. Cassie testifies that freak-offs made her feel worthless and humiliated. Look at her. And I couldn't take him seriously. I never could, even in the 90s. I was just like, he just looked just like an idiot to me. I couldn't even take him seriously. Now, I liked some of his music early on, but it was just like, okay. But I couldn't, J-Lo, when she got with him, I was like, ugh, ooh, J-Lo, ooh, that's nasty. That is nasty because he's an ugly son of a bitch and he's a whole apex predator. But that goes to show you that J-Lo can handle it because she got some dark in her. Obviously. She got some because, that is nothing to play around with. That animal is nothing to play around with. That's a whole apex predator right there. And people walk around and all, and she put up with, I feel bad for her. And I hope that she can overcome this trauma. Okay, they say here, she said for their first freak-off, Sean Combs arranged for a dancer from Las Vegas to have sex with Cassandra Ventura. She testifies. They took ecstasy and drank alcohol, adding that she felt dirty and confused after it, but she felt she couldn't say no to continuing the encounters. I didn't want to make him upset. She says, I didn't want to make him angry and regret telling me about this experience that was so personal. After the freak-off started, Ventura testified they became almost weekly. What? He put her to work. Yeah, he put her to work. And other girls, too. Other victims. Ventura testified about a time in which she said she and Sean Combs were having a freak-off at one of his homes in Los Angeles when one of his security guards, D-Rock, alerted Combs that Suge Knight, a longtime music industry rival, was at a dinner in the city. She says they immediately started getting ready to go meet him, which made her scream and cry in fear. She said they grabbed guns from a safe and left. This testimony mirrors an account from her 2023 lawsuit. What was he going to do? You better leave Suge Knight alone. But remember, Suge Knight was with Puff Daddy, remember? Not Puff Daddy, with Suge Knight and what's the rapper? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. What's the rapper that killed Suge Knight and Oh my God. You know, the one Jada Pinkett Smith claims that that was her husband. Sorry, God. I mean, they were in love. So anyways, I can't think of that rapper's name. God forgive me. But, you know, I got a lot on my mind. Damn it. Tupac Shakur. That's the name. All right. This case is not just about conduct of Sean Combs, but about the conduct of his employees as well. The government is beginning to get into these details by identifying individuals who Cassandra Ventura says followed Combs' orders, including a security guard named D. Rock. Ventura says he was one of the people who went looking for her when Combs did not know her location. Ain't that something? She was probably flattered when he was looking for her until the beating started. Okay, the prosecution has shifted to focus on associates of Sean Combs with whom Cassandra Ventura had contact. One is Tony Fletcher, a former Bad Boy executive. Ventura says she discussed financial issues with her. Another is Christina Coram, who was once a chief of staff for Combs and knew the ins and outs of Ventura's schedule. Ventura is now identifying members of Combs' security detail. Oh, she's telling it, y'all. She's telling it. Look at this animal. Oh, God, that is disgusting. That is so disgusting. Oh, that is disgusting. Hey, Brooklyn Love, how you doing? We're just going over the Puff Daddy case right quick. That is disgusting. Ooh, that's a whole apex predator. So she says at times in their relationship, Sean Combs or his security would take away her electronic devices, including her laptop or phone. She would get them back eventually. It depended on how long I was being punished for. What? You know what? I want to hear stories of those victims that got away. Weren't there women who looked and said, wait a minute, when he started rising up at them and saying, don't make that face? Because, you know, they start with small aggressions first. So didn't she, you know, I want to hear those women who looked and said, oh no, this is too much, and realized they were in a room with a whole demon, a whole dark force, and they got the hell out of there. I want to hear some stories of them. Who are some of those that survived this too? Cassandra Ventura described Sean Combs' close attention to and control over her appearance. She says he commented on it daily and made specific demands. He preferred her nails to be painted white, had discussions with her about breast implants, and said at least once that her hair looked too Mexican. What does that mean? She says she spent a lot of time grooming herself for the freak-offs. I had to look a certain way during freak-offs, she said, adding that the tenor of his comments about her appearance had a major effect on her self-confidence. Oh, wow. Well, that's why he got her so young. You can easily manipulate a young girl. You know, you can probably manipulate old women too. But these young girls, they're the ones. I think older women will be able to spot a whole apex predator and realize maybe the money is not worth it. Because to get beat down and kicked in the head and get black eyes and busted lips and broken noses and jaws, I mean, I don't understand. And she's working full time. There's a freak off as his SEX doll toy. She's just a hole to him. The prosecutor questioning Ventura, Emily A. Johnson, has picked back up with discussion of a singer's music career, which Ventura described as stifled amid her relationship with Sean Combs. Ventura testifies that her manager, James Cruz, told her that he was managing her with one hand tied behind his back. She says he meant that decisions about her career always had to go through Combs, the head of her label and also her boyfriend. After a break, Cassandra has returned to the stand wearing a light yellow coat. The judge had remarked the courtroom was cold. Okay, well, she's about 8 months pregnant now, right? Okay, they saying before Cassandra's testimony, Sean Combs' children and other family members gathered outside the courtroom in a circle with their heads bowed to pray. None of you guys prayed for Cassie or any other victim before. Go to hell. When Ventura entered the courtroom, Combs turned to look at her, but Ventura stared straight ahead. Combs took notes at times during her testimony. While testifying, Ventura spoke in a calm and measured tone, her voice sometimes catching or quieting to a whisper. The jurors are focused entirely on her. During previous witness testimony, they were looking around the courtroom at times, but this time they focus on her. Heck yeah. Wow. That's Terry Garrigold. Teeny? That's Mark Garrigold's daughter. Wow. Yeah. So this girl, I feel so bad for her, but it's a lesson learned, guys. That's what I always say. It's a lesson learned that first of all, get your own shit. First of all, and then also, if that's what you want to do, connect with somebody wealthy, you got to always run them numbers. And so he can get you a music career, right? That's a plus. He can get you in rooms with music executives or those in the industry. That's a plus. What else? He's also very wealthy. That is a plus. But then what's on the negative side of the sheet? He kind of likes to jump on you, give you black eyes, busted lips, broken noses. He likes to really kick your ass. That's on the negative side of the street. What else? He got these freak offs. So when you want to be doing it, Cassie said it became a full-time job to her. No longer was it the record company. Was she trying to make music? It became a full-time job. So that's on the negative side of the sheet, right? What about his non-monogamous activities? The other women and the increase in STDs. Come on now. So they wanted to look at her medical records, and I heard that she did not. That the SEX worker said he wanted to stop because he wanted to see her medical records first, because Puff Daddy did not ever want them to use protection on Cassie. So he wanted her to get destroyed inside out, the whole apex predator. So that's on the negative side of the sheet. So she was coming up red. When you run them numbers, she was coming up red. So how do you then ignore that? And that's why you got to be smart out here. You got to kind of, there's nothing is free out here in this world. Nothing is free. But I bet that young lady's got a story to tell, to share with other women who maybe get tricked into those situations. I think too that when you're 19, that's a baby. That is a baby still. Because I'm in my 50s. So a 19-year-old, you may be an adult, they are still a baby. Their brains, they have not had enough life experience. None, no life experience to handle a whole apex predator. When Puff Daddy became popular in the 90s, when I looked at him, I could tell spot that was an apex predator. How? I don't know. My instincts told me that's somebody you do not want to be in the same room with. Then Tupac dies, then Biggie dies, and death around him. And then all of a sudden he shoots to stardom. And then now I look back at it and I'm like, you know something? How was he able to shoot to stardom like that? And what is his origin story? And they said he slapped the hell out of his own mother. So this is a whole dark force. And he's got company. And they are all in Hollywood and Hollywood. You could tell. You know how you could tell? Because the same story keep popping up and up. The same story. How Harvey Weinstein was doing. That's a whole apex predator too. He needs to be under the jail. So Puff Daddy, he could forget it. I don't see how you're going to get out of this one, because there's no way you're going to explain away that shit. There's no way you're going to explain away what we see. And people got common sense and we can see. Now, your lawyers will take your money, which they're going to take all of it, but you're not getting out, Puff Daddy. I don't see that. I pray for Cassie and hope that, and all the other victims that's not coming. We should hear some other ones. I'm going to keep reporting on this Puff Daddy trial, but that's just a sign of you got to really be careful of the company you keep. And them freak offs, that is just disgusting. Everything about it is disgusting. Everything about it. So anyways, guys, this has been nice. It's a little bit more than an hour. I want to thank you for watching. I had not planned on jumping on at all today. I was going to, because I had 2 meetings, but, one was cut short. And then I saw this Cassie thing and I was like, I got to jump on that one. Hey, Brooklyn Love, domestic violence is horrible. Yes, it is. It really is. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. I can honestly say. Yeah, no woman should. No woman should. This is just so weird to me. But it happens. It really does. And, it's a complex issue because this girl, she was 19 and he was 17 years older than her. So he had power. The power imbalance was, it was, I mean, it was so unfair, but he targeted her. I remember dating a guy. This was after my divorce, and I'll make it really quick because I'm going to call it a night. I remember dating a guy, and he was older. He was about 15 years older than me, but I was already divorced and, had kids and stuff. Very accomplished and everything. But I noticed some of the stuff that she said he was doing that with me. Like, why don't you wear your hair like this? Or what would he say? He bought me, outfits that he wanted to see me wear. This is when I was a size 0. Okay. And then I noticed that, without getting specific, but I started to pick up that this guy was trying to exploit me. I don't know why. It was just something about it that was odd. It just felt like the relationship was imbalanced, but also there was a cruelty to him that I picked up, and it was well hidden, but it peeked out where I saw it. When somebody you watch, and that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I was in therapy too at the time. I did a good almost 15 years of therapy, straight therapy. Thank God. And it's, I believe heavily in therapy. So I was telling my therapist, I'm like, it just seemed like, well, it was kind of cruel, but there's a cruel element to him. I can't put my finger on it. And she said, trust your instinct. And you know what else she told me? And I carried that on ever since. And I tell my daughter and my son this: talk less and watch people. If you are dating someone or you got someone as a friend or anything, watch them. Just watch them. Don't say anything. And people typically reveal themselves. Over time, they do. And it takes, as she said, sometimes it takes a while before a person starts to reveal their true selves or their true intentions. And she was right, but I ended that relationship because I was like, I'm not going to be treated that way. No, because I can tell. And it was like, I didn't feel good about myself. I'm like, well, what's wrong with the clothes I'm wearing, asshole? I'm like, what's wrong with my outfits? I put, what are you trying to say? And then what's wrong with my hair? What the hell's going on? Why are you you trying to make me over? Which means there's something about me that you just don't like. And and it's about control. And he was a good 15 years older than me at the time. And his brain, he's drinking a lot. Like, he's a professional, but he's retired now because I'm in my 50s. So he's got to be, no, wait a minute. I think he might be 20 years older than me. Because they got 15 to 17 years. But yeah, his brain is like mixed, swimming in alcohol. But he's doing well, got grandkids, and he never married again to anybody. But I think he's got a long-term girlfriend, old lady taking care of him. But that was a good lesson. But I can't even imagine. I can't phantom what this girl been. But at 19, that's when he got her. For him, but they know who to target. That's why you got to really be careful of circles you keep. Because she said she was modeling in New York. And I'm curious about her family of origin. Her mother and father, how did they feel about their 19-year-old dating a man that's 17 years older than her? And you can see the imbalance in the relationship. You can see it. And Puff Daddy is not somebody that's filled with a lot of love and affection. He's a whole apex predator. You can tell it. It's his way or no way. And he's not happy because he's broken. His family of origin, he is completely broken. but he was able to thrive in Hollywood, all that time. And none of the celebrities, nobody even today saying, oh, Cassie, I feel bad for you. Notice everybody's mute. And if they're mute, that's because they're hiding something. That's all. They're all part of it. That's what I believe. Reminds me of the Dionne Warwick song, Don't Make Me Over. Yes, Beverly. Don't make me over. Anything for you. Yeah, he was like, and buy me outfits and stuff, and like, wear this, and where are you going to get your hair done, and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like, I didn't like feeling that way. And I had already, this is when I started rebuilding my life, because at that time, my long-term marriage had ended. I lost my father. I had to bury him. We had to bury him. And it was like, that was the darkest time of my life. So I had therapy and I reestablished my relationship with my family, my siblings, more importantly. And I started taking care of myself. And it was like, I'm not going there, because my ex-husband was nowhere near like that. He's a kind spirit. Our marriage just didn't work, but I had never, but that man, he was a dark force. And when you run up against a dark force, you know it. And I could tell, even when we would get, intimate, I could tell he was getting too aggressive. And it was just like, wait a minute, this is not what I want. So I cut it. And how did he handle it? Part of it, he was an asshole. He didn't care. But then he would get weird call. I want to just see how you're doing. Oh, another thing too that stood out with him, by the way. We would go out to dinner. Now, I don't drink because my father, the trauma, and it was like, and during that time, I was really drinking and partying a lot. And I wanted to stop. He would still put alcohol, like a glass of wine in front of me. That was the other thing too. That was a tale. And I was like, why would you do that? And I'm thinking, I said, no, thank you. No, here, have a cup, And it's like, and I said, oh, and now that, I reflect on it, that's a whole apex predator. Apex predator for real. Brooklyn said, Cassie, life was so sad. I'm glad she has a loving husband to support her. Me too, Brooklyn. Me too. Yes. I just hope, because they said it must have been hard to relive that. Can you imagine that? And he kept her drugged for 10 years. So she was addicted to them drugs. He turned her out. He was trying to destroy her. Now let's see how his life's going to be when he's in prison for the next 20, 30 years. I say put him under the jail, but but he's not getting out. He could forget that. And then they say he read the Bible. He bring the Bible every day and read it. Okay. Well, what is that supposed to do? Is that supposed to do what now? Change our minds that we're sitting in a room with a whole dark forest? They're out there, guys. You got to be very careful. And all those people in his orbit, and always go back to this, the horror that happened to Cassie. You don't see nobody saying, oh my God, I can't believe it. I feel so bad for her. She said nobody would help her. No, not even the police. There was a whole assault on video. Why didn't the LAPD come in and say, hey, that's an assault? She don't have to press charges against you. We're going to scoop you up and you're going to come down to the station with us. No, they didn't. He bought and paid for. It's Hollywood. They all know each other. It's so sad. Oh, Beverly, thank you. Rhonda, I'm so sorry you went through that. Thank you, Brooklyn, but I learned. You know what I mean? You live and learn in this life. And I'm telling you, let me just say this. When you touch hell and survive and find your higher power, it's like, I feel like Wonder Woman. I mean, I'm just humbled and grateful. And that's why I like Rhonda loves life. Because I do. Because I mean, when you touch hell and survive, and when you have met, like, I know that God exists. And I know that, but I believe for me, God and my higher power is more like a frequency. That's the only way I can describe it. He's not like a person. It's a frequency that you plug into. And the way you plug into it is through prayer, meditation, quiet time, reading spirituality, books on spirituality, wellness books, anything that keeps you grounded and keep you focused on the present moment, and being grateful, helping others, keeping your side of the yard clean, don't harm others. Those are the qualities that keep you plugged in the spirit. But I'm grateful for my experiences, because I must have been far along in therapy than I realized, because he was an apex predator, now that I think about it. And then I met another guy. We were just hanging out. He was just a friend with benefits. Okay. I wasn't getting serious. It was like I just wanted to, my kids were in high school at the time. This was just like a couple of years ago. And I liked him. I wanted to just hang out and have fun. And I remember he would do stuff like ask for money. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like, but it wouldn't be like, can I have a couple of dollars? Give me a couple of dollars. I'm going to grab, I don't know. Let's order McDonald's or something like that or whatever. No. He said he wanted to build a studio in his place, music studio, like a little miniature. And he said, I rely on my girls, and if you're close to me, to help me out. And I just looked at him. Stone face, no reaction, mute. Just mute and just listen to him. And I would listen. And then I realized, I said, oh, I see. He think he got a mark. I said, he didn't rent. And I was laughing with my ex-husband. He's like, my ex-husband says, Rhonda, you'll never get with a rich guy because you don't put up with people's shit. You just won't. And I'm not. So it's like, I've done a lot of work now. I'm like, but I thought that was funny. And I'm like, oh, he came out with it. So then I slowly, fade to black. Our get-togethers got long, farther apart. And then I just got too busy. And then that's just how it rolls when you're out here. And, but I thought, and it was like, wow. And I just thought about my therapist, and she said that. She said, watch people. Just watch them. They reveal themselves to you eventually. So anyways, yeah. So he wasn't an apex predator. He was just, he's somebody that wants women to take care of him, I think. And I think he thought, oh, she's a single woman. Look at this. She got this house. At the time I was still in my house. Wow, she got this big house. She's got some money. And it's like, yeah, I don't give men a period. If you are not my husband. And I did tell him that. I said, the only man I give money to is if I took vows with him. We took vows together and he's my husband. Other than that, I don't give a dime, not a penny, nothing. And I mean it. Because to me, it's like you're stealing from my kids. And you know how hard I work for the money I make, the little I make. Oh, no, I'm not going to. No. So I've done too much work now that no. Nope. When you watch, you truly learn about people. He wanted to control you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. People come with all kind of games, and then you just have to, and they're all not apex predators. I think those apex, the dark ones, the dark spirited ones, those are the ones that you need to keep your eyes and ears open. You got to get out of their way. You cannot dwell in their orbit, because around them is darkness. Only God can shine light on that. You want to get the hell out of the way, because when you think about Cassie, I really want to know about other survivors of Diddy. There had to been some girls who picked up that this guy is trouble and got the hell out of Dodge. I think he's going to go to jail. I don't think he's going to win this case, but I would love to hear other Cassie, I'd like to still hear her story. I hope she do well, but I want to hear stories too of those that did not, that suffered the abuse, and those who saw it and said, you know what, maybe there could be a documentary of Cassie and the other girls that had to encounter that kind of behavior. One more thing before I go, I always go back to J-Lo. Remember, J-Lo was with Puff Daddy for a couple of years. And you telling me Puff Daddy wasn't an apex predator with her? Bullshit. Bullshit. I just think J-Lo ain't gonna talk. She ain't gonna talk. She's not gonna talk. But I think that she has some stories to share too. I don't see him blacking her eye. I don't see him doing it with her. I don't think she's got that personality. I think she's one of those that rode it out as long as she could and left. So I think that when they had that pow pow incident, that was perfect timing for her to leave. But I don't think Puff Daddy brutalized every female. I think he targeted those. He knew the ones that he could brutalize and those he couldn't. And J-Lo was just one of those. But I'm sure that J-Lo had to take part in the freak-offs. I'm sure she did. I'm sure that, he had her. Remember, he was dressing her too. Remember? So he tell her what to dress and what to wear. And J-Lo was all cool with it because she get to be in the rooms. Remember, she was just a fly girl, an MC Hammer dancer. Janet Jackson. Remember, she was in Janet Jackson. That's the way love goes. J-Lo was in that video before she made it big. So Puff Daddy got her into rooms that she would not have otherwise been in. So it looks J-Lo was, come on now. J-Lo did, she did what she had to do. Is J-Lo I struggle with whether or not J-Lo's a 304 or a playbook. I think J-Lo, I don't know yet. I think J-Lo, it depends on her life. Like, I think that she has 304 tendencies, but you got to give it to her. She's worth but they be lying about their net worth though. Because I would just remember they said she worth 250 million or something, but those celebrities being lying about their net worth. But she was able to use that relationship with Puff Daddy to parlay her into music stardom. And you know what? I'm going to do a video on, I was thinking, I saw Milli Vanilli. I want to do a video on lip sync battles and do Milli Vanilli, J-Lo, Paula Abdul, and who are some of the other singers that they were lip syncing, but had real singers singing behind, the scene. So anyways, J-Lo did parlay that into a marketable career. She became, a household name. So it did work to her benefit with Puff Daddy. But did she was with a whole apex predator. So she did get some abuse. But I don't think she got nowhere near what Cassie got. I think Puff Daddy knows who to target. And he knows who to do that with. So J-Lo, but you got to do the freak offs and stuff. That's a given. That is a given. Musicians are the worst liars ever. Men who take money from women are weak. My grandmother would call them plugs. Plugs, I like that. Yeah, there are it is a new day and age. Men are looking to be taken care of too. Women, there was a time when men wouldn't think of being taken care of by a woman. Not anymore. And I'm not playing that game. I am happy. I'm at peace. I'm fine. Plus I look at, I'm like, I count my blessings. Let me tell you, check this out. God, I fell in love and married the love of my life, my ex-husband, right? One of the loves, but he's my children's father. So I got a chance to experience love. Unfortunately, it did not work out. So loss, but I learned that and we're in a good place. And then I've met some wonderful men in my life, one or two, that were special to me. But overall, I am not going out there trying to scoop up just anything just so I can have somebody laying in bed next to me. No, I'm not doing that. Because everybody's got baggage. Everybody. And you get our age in your mid-50s, and let me tell you, the little I got is going to my 2 kids. That's who it's going to. I am not going to give it to any man that I just stumble upon. The only way is if he's worth millions. Now, if God bless me with a man worth millions, I'll marry him tomorrow. You know why? Because he's got more than what I have. So I don't have to worry about him taking this little I got, but I'm not going to be taking, I work too hard. I'm not doing it. And I'm okay with that. But I've done damn near 15 years of therapy and living and really working on myself. And I'm in a good place and I'm at peace. And I'm thankful for what God has given me because, I did get a chance to experience love. And it's nothing like falling in love and having children. And, and my daughter graduates from college on Sunday. So I'll see her dad then. We're all going to go together and she's going to graduate and we're going to have dinner. I'm looking forward to that. God has blessed me. And I'm not going to risk my peace of mind by bringing somebody in my life that could actually blow it up with their baggage. No, thank you. Certainly not going to take. I won't give a dime. That I mean. And my family laughs. It's a joke. My ex-husband teased me. Everybody knows Rhonda don't give. No, I'm not. I never did it and I never will. Don't ever ask me. If you want to turn me off, ask me for money. And watch me. And I won't say a word. That's the thing. I go mute. And I just fade to black. I just backstep into the shadows. And then once enough time has passed, oh, I'm just so busy. Oh, I miss you too. Yeah, we got to get together. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll call you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You have to pray for discernment at all times. Brooklyn love, that's so true. Give it to God. And he has not let me down. I was telling my sister Rita, I said, you know what? I've gotten to the point now. I don't make a decision without checking with my higher power. I plug in, I go do my walk and sort it out. And if I can't figure it out that day, I'll just pause and wait again until I get some clarity. I'm serious. I practice that now because I can't trust my own thinking. I got to give it to God. Some issues are very complex and it's just your emotions can get involved. Like me going away for 3 months and I've been back and forth for years. What was holding me back were me being a mama bear and my 2 kids. And it's like, now they're in college. One is going to graduate. My son graduate next year. And I was holding on. I'm like a mama bear, but I don't want to leave them for 3 months. I don't want to leave my babies, although they're in school. And I prayed and I thought about it and talked to my brothers and talked to my sister. My sister don't want me to leave at all. She thinks the plane's going to fall right off the sky. And I'm like, you know what, Reed, if it falls, it falls because I'm going. I'm going. But my kids, it's like in my mind, I see them still, and those of you that mothers, you know this, I still feel like they're my little babies, like little ones. Like, do you know that my son had to tell me, when I get out the car and he's in the back seat, I'll go open the door like he was when he was a little boy. And this was like last year sometime, maybe a little over a year ago. He said, Mama. I said, what? He said, Mom, I'm not a kid. I'm not a baby anymore. You don't have to open a door for me. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, so I had reservations because I love Paris. Oh, I love Paris. Oh my God, I love Paris. And I'm like, now I can go. And I'm like, you know what? Just do it. When I had the health scare and I had to wait a month and they had to do all those tests. And I was just like, I was scared shitless, y'all. You know that. And when I realized that I'm okay for now, something's going to get us eventually, we're all going to die. But right now I was like, and the Holy Spirit, and it felt right. And it was like, the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, just go. Enjoy yourself. The 3 months, go. And I was like, I asked my kids, are you guys going to be okay? And I asked my ex-husband, I said, are they going to, if they need something, you're going to come right and help them, right? And he's like, yeah. He said, I'm always there. Like, what? And my brother, you know what my brother Max said? My brother said, hey, Rhonda. And I'm on the phone with him like, and he says, Rhonda. I said, what? He said, it's not like you're going to the moon. He said, you're just going across the pond. It just take you, 7 to 8 hours. It's like a road trip. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That makes so much sense. And it takes a blood relative, like my brother, we're all stair-step age. So he knew he got to the point quickly with me. He wouldn't even let me go 30 minutes, 45 minutes whining about being away from my 22 and 23-year-old kid. kids. He was like, hey, Rhonda, you're not going to the moon. You're just going across the pond. Like, stop it. This is like a road trip, So anyways, that was so funny. And it gave me perspective. And now it's like, wow. So yes, I give it to my higher, and I know it's okay because my higher power, I did go to my higher power and I feel at peace with it. And I think the experience is, 3 months. I've never been away from my kids for 3 months, but they're going to be okay. They're good kids or good young adults. They're going to be fine. Brooklyn Love says, I'm sure J-Lo has some stories. Oh, she does. You know what? She probably would never do it, but I would love for her to do a tell-all. But she's so rich, she don't have to do it. Isn't it funny? She's got a story to tell and could do it, but she won't do it. Now, Meghan Markle will never be rich like J-Lo and can probably get rich if she does a tell-all. All her yacht girl stories, but she's not going to do it. Well, crazy times, y'all. I do one more. Let's see. Hey, Rondi, how you doing? How's it going? Are you in UK, right? Hello. Yeah, so anyways, you got to be careful about the circles you keep. It is better if you sense that dark spirit, run. Get the hell away from them, because they're just like there is God and there's beauty in this world, and there is beauty in the world. When I was in my darkest days, there were kind people. I remember people who were kind to me, because there was time, it was like an end of a marriage, and then my dad died. It was, oh my God. And I wasn't close. It was terrible. But as I rebuilt my life and my therapist, and then I started going to women's groups, I started going to book clubs, and, reading books that I found. A lot of them were books on spirituality and wellness books. And then I would join women's book clubs and start changing my friend group, adding more God in my life. But there are negative, dark elements out there. You got to be careful. Puff Daddy is one of them. So let's pray for Cassie and the other girls. I would love to see a documentary with Cassie and the other victims, those that experienced similar traumas with dealing with this dark entity, which is called Puff Daddy. And thank God the strong arm of Allah is coming down, bearing down on him, and he's got to face it. But here's the thing. I'm going to say this and then I got to go. Here's one more thing, though. Why is it? I still go back to this question. How is it that she went through 10 years of being brutalized? And also, why is it that not one celebrity is coming out in her defense? Tell me if I'm wrong now. I have not heard any celebrity say, that is horrible what happened to that girl. He is out of line. None of them are speaking out against Puff Daddy. You notice that? None of the celebrities. Big O, when is she going to talk? They were so happy to point out her wife put on R. Kelly. Oprah was going to do that Michael Jackson interview. Her wife is going to do tear down on what's his name that died, Kobe Bryant, and him and his daughter wasn't buried a week before Gayle jumped on it, and now they're mute when it comes to Puff Daddy. Really? So, anyways, guys, I want to thank you for watching. This was a great night. Surprise, surprise! I will be back on tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night. Let me know if there's a topic that you want to discuss or something that's a hot topic. I think I will do that lip sync battle, because we got to find out which celebrities were out there whole lip syncing. We know J-Lo's on the top of the list because Christina Milian and Ashanti were the background singers. They were the ones really singing the songs, and J-Lo was the face. So Milli Vanilli started this, and I think Paula Abdul, there was the rumors that she was lip syncing as well. So maybe down the line I will do something like that. That's interesting. So you guys have a good night. Thanks for joining me. And this was great. I'll chat with you soon. Love you. Ciao. Mwah.